Hi, I'm Sue Johnson McKeever.
And I'm Shalil Wilson.
And we're here today to discuss meditation as our guidepost for this journey. We're using the meditation book written by Sri Chinmoy. Sri Chinmoy is a spiritual teacher, and both Shalil and I studied with him and have studied with him since the early 80s. Today, we're beginning with the topic of the spiritual heart. And while we find that meditation in many different traditions is similar in terms of relaxation, concentration, I find a lot of the variance occurs once you've focused your awareness on where you choose to put that awareness. And Sri Chinmoy all these years strongly encouraged his students, as have other traditions, on focusing in on the spiritual heart.
Right. He actually always said that the heart, the spiritual heart, is where the soul resides, and that was the easiest and the safest place to become in touch with your own higher self.
Now, Shalil, in terms of meditating on the spiritual heart, are there any specific exercises that you do to gain access to your heart?
Pretty much all of my meditation practice begins with breath and concentrating and centering my awareness around my breath. And then to particularly focus on my spiritual heart, I will sometimes imagine a flame, a candle flame, or a flower. And also incorporating the spiritual heart into my concentration on breath is to get away from feeling you're breathing in and out through your nostrils, but actually to feel that you're breathing in and out qualities like peace, light, love, in and out through your heart. Right. And that's a really powerful thing because it's pretty accessible. It's not like a huge stretch of the imagination because it's something you can almost intuitively feel.
I think one of the ideas of meditating on the spiritual heart is that idea of connecting with deeper emotions. So you mentioned peace. When I think of my mind, I think of thought, different thoughts, and I can have inspiring thoughts, uplifting thoughts, but it's still that realm of thought. Whereas for me, meditating on my heart is a lot more about connecting with some deep feelings. You mentioned peace. Sri Chinmoy also gave a lot of importance and value to meditating on the quality of gratitude. And so there's these qualities, and there's also the imagery that we can use. You mentioned a flower, or a beautiful light, or a sun.
Right. Also, one of my favorites is an ocean, to imagine the vast, peaceful ocean inside my heart. And these are not just words, they're actual realities. And the more you focus on them, the more you concentrate on them, the more you meditate on them, the more you feel those realities, and those qualities begin to permeate different aspects of your life. And so it goes way beyond just sitting on a cushion in front of a shrine. It actually is something that you really can't separate from the rest of your life, and it permeates and flows through all other choices and decisions that you're making in your life, and all of a sudden, magically, life becomes more fulfilling.
One of the first really powerful meditations I had was in a Hatha yoga class back when I was in college, and we went through all the different postures for about an hour or so, and then the teacher had us lay down in Shavasana, corpse pose. It was in a very relaxed state, and this was the first time I really experimented or had the experience of the heart-centered meditation, because what he did was he had us bring our awareness from our breathing and our mind and bring our awareness down into the center of our chest, and he said to visualize a beautiful green light in the center of my chest. And I had the experience of my sense of self shifting from kind of my mind and thinking down into my heart, and when that happened, it was as if a part of me that I had forgotten about or had lost touch with all of a sudden came to life, and it really showed me the power of heart-centered meditation.
Right. That's the remarkable thing about a meditation practice is, we have all these qualities inside us, and it's like we've misplaced them, or we've misplaced the key to access them. And meditation provides that key that you use to gain access to this enormous wealth that we all have inside ourselves, but have somehow forgotten about.
And when I think of the heart, as opposed to like a more mind-based meditation, say repeating a mantra or the concentration of our mind, when we get into the heart, getting into expansive emotions, I think of, as you mentioned, peace, gratitude, joy, happiness.
Yeah.
You know, these very basic intrinsic emotions that are in our hearts, and meditating on them, visualizing them is really, really powerful. I also like to use scenes from nature that for me represent that quality. So if I'm thinking I want to cultivate in my heart the feeling of unconditional love, I might imagine, you know, a mother bear taking care of her little cubs, or someone unconditionally loving and giving everything for the object of love, and bringing that imagery. You mentioned also the sea, seeing
the ocean, not just the sea, the ocean.
The ocean, a beautiful, expansive of this vastness within ourselves.
Right.
And I've known a lot of people who have tried meditation techniques that are more kind of thought-based, and when they step into the realm of heart-centered meditation, it's for some people a great avenue. Right.
It is, and the heart is very accessible. It's it's something that is really waiting to find expression in our lives. And as children, we have constant access to it because our minds aren't fully developed. And as we get older and we begin to begin this infatuation with our mind, our heart sort of steps back a little bit. But the more that we can bring our heart back into our life, the more we will intuitively become in touch with our higher self. And that's a much more rewarding place to inhabit, if you like.
And I think that's one of the places where Sri Chinmoy taught us a lot of singing, a lot of mantras and a lot of beautiful music. And I think that also links in with the heart, with the idea of when you're singing, you're kind of gets you out of your mind. You're not thinking so much, you're not as self-conscious, you're expressing yourself, you're creating something beautiful. And also in group singing or in group meditation, being with other people, connecting on that level of sound and having that feeling of oneness or interconnectedness, not just in spirit, but actually through sound and through vibration. Anything else you do that's connected with meditating on the heart?
Well, like each morning I'll get up, and before I really do anything, I'll just say gratitude a few times, even before I get out of bed. And that sort of opens that door, that heart door, if you like, because gratitude is something which is innately expressed in our hearts. And that's a great way to begin the morning. Even before you take that first step onto the floor, it's good.
And one of Sri Chinmoy's songs, the words are, "My own gratitude heart is all that matters. My own gratitude heart is all that matters." And for me, what that speaks to is, if I want to think of all my problems or complaints I have in life, I can make long lists of all the things. And if I make that what matters, then life becomes a lot of problems and a lot of confusion. But if instead I focus in on my heart and try and feel peace or gratitude or love, then when I feel that that's all that matters, life takes on a whole different quality, a whole different energy. And so for myself, learning to meditate on the heart, finding those techniques and utilizing them has really been an invaluable part of my journey.
Great. I'll second that.
This is Sujantra.
And I'm Shalil.
And thank you for joining us.